will proceed and we will focus at, again, we are going to discuss at monitoring. We are going to discuss at monitoring. Monitoring in detail. What is monitoring? You see, what is monitoring? Um, Monitoring is just about the regular observations and the recording of activities taking place in a project. So you need to have a regular. You need to make follow-up. For key projects like construction-related projects, without making closer follow-up, you cannot attain. You cannot track the performance of the projects. You need to have closer performance in terms of hour, in terms of maybe daily, in terms of weekly, and so on. Day to day tracking. You see, you track how this project is performing. How are you going about this project? And this is monitoring. So it's a process of routine, gathering information on all aspects related to the project. To monitor actually is to check on how the project activities is progressing. That is to monitor. You need to check how are you progressing regarding the project. You see, you don't, if you are engaging yourself in a project, you don't stay in the offices. People go out. You see, you go to the field, you assess the situation on daily basis to monitor activities of what is happening on hourly basis, to track those individuals who are working on the field and to get the clear picture on whether the project is performing or is not performing in terms of daily, in terms of every hour you have to monitor. So monitoring is a continuous process of collecting data throughout project life cycle. It involves the collection and analysis. It is about communications, the use of information about the project progress. So all this, it is about project progress on daily basis. So you have to monitor daily. It is also about the periodic tracking. You have to track for the period. You can track daily, you can track weekly, you can track monthly, quarterly, annually. All this is just about monitoring. But at the end of the day, you will need to produce a report related to monitoring. The report that will suggest that you have monitored the project a given period of time, and the report that will provide very informative information that will assist the manager to make changes regarding the project. That's very sensitive for us. So when you are doing monitoring, monitoring is just about close follow-up. It's just about close follow-up. When you make follow-up very closely as a project manager, you will realize at the end of the day, you are trying to control your project to be in line to the performance. So the target audience must be defined along with what you are doing. What are you doing, and who is going to benefit about the project? So analyze them, and also how are you going to benefit? How are you going to benefit the stakeholders? All this kind of analysis must be in place so that when you are coming out for monitoring, you have to make sure that you assess how these activities are being performed and how the stakeholders are benefiting from the project itself. And at the end of the day, you will realize yourself coming up with a very good report. So monitoring, it provides regular feedback. It's just about getting feedback. For those people who are engaging themselves, for example, in a construction-related project, what they will do is, if they don't have a close follow-up for those laborers who are working in their sites, at the end of the day, they cannot finish the project timely. So in Africa, you need to make a closer follow-up for your staff on daily basis. You need to know what are they doing on daily basis. Otherwise, you'll find other staff stealing your time. So you need to see how staff are using the company's time and so on. Get the feedback from staff. Get their feelings of what they're talking about. You see, they will give you a good signal on whether the project is in the right track or not in the right track. So that's very important again. So we say monitoring also, monitoring system and procedure should provide the mechanism for the right information to be provided to the right people at the right time. And you know, when you are doing monitoring and monitoring, you have to make sure also you give feedback. You have to make sure that you provide the information that will assist the management to make a decision, that will assist the chief executive to make a decision regarding the project. So that is all about. So you'll have to monitor your data. You see, you need to assess the strength and weakness, any type of strength you need to appreciate, any kind of weakness you need also to identify what type of activities are being conducted in a project. All these will need to be assessed at the end of the day and needs to be solved. And the only way for you to solve is for you to examine the so-called monitoring. So when you monitor your staff on daily basis, you monitor your staff on hourly basis, you see close follow-up for your staff, you'll find yourself coming up with a good solution on how these projects are being implemented. It's all about making close follow-up for your staff. Another concept that is emerging regarding the monitoring is just about a regular ongoing collections and analysis of information on progress of the projects. You see, what are the differences that are going on? What are the issues that are going on? So this will give you the monitoring, and you have to collect data on daily basis. You have to analyze those information. You track the progress, and this will help you to see whether you are performing in a right standard or you are not performing in the right standard, and so on. So why do we monitor? This is very important. Why do we monitor a project? Why do we monitor? Maybe let's discuss why do we monitor a project? Flavian, what can you say? Why do we monitor a project? Yes, Flavian. Why do we monitor project?
As you said, we monitor the project in order to make sure the progress is going on as per expected output. You have to make sure that if you are expecting to have attained a certain, you're expected to attain a certain progress of the project within a certain time, you have to make sure that that progress has been attained. And if the progress has been not attained, now you need to know the reasons why you have not attained the expected progress. What are the factors which is affecting the progress? And then you have to take action to mitigate those factors which are causing the delay of the project.
Good.
That can be one of the reasons why we need to do monitoring to the project.
Yes, because what you will see in most African countries, most project fails. And the only area is just because of lack of the so-called monitoring. Most engineers, when you are engaging yourself into a project, you find yourself staying in office, you see, rather than going to the field to monitor what is happening. And that's why you can't finish the work in time. This is lack of monitoring. So monitoring is just about staying with people, staying with your staff, staying with your laborers, as far as the project for construction is concerned. You have to stay, you have to monitor, because some people who are working as laborers, they might not be serious to engage themselves into project activities. So it is important that you make close follow-up. Without a closer follow-up in Africa, without a closer follow-up for a project, you cannot attain good performance. You will find yourself um, deviating from the original plan. And with us, what we say, you need to have a closer follow-up, man-to-man follow-up. You see, who is doing what? Who has performed activity in that day, in that hour? You need to track them. You need to track them. This is monitoring. And if you are lacking, if your organization is lacking monitoring, then you'll find some other staff who are working within the organization, but they don't know what they're supposed to do. Others will be doing some activities that are not related to what they're supposed to do. Others will be coming to work, but they don't have a work plan. You see, they may start looking at other people's work plan. You see, you may find someone is an engineer now, is trying to work as a community development officer. You are not. Your work is to go to the field and work as an engineer and assist, construction related projects. So that is very important. Even if you are setting an organization, even if you have an organization, maybe it might be related to a non-profit making organization, you should monitor your staff, because you are paying them money. You have to monitor the activities. What are the key activities that are performed on a daily basis? And the only way for you to notice, we said the other time, the way we perform activities is different from people who are coming from Asia. People from Asia, if you work in those companies who are coming from Asia, you will see they will have close monitoring in terms of minutes. Every minute they will call your name to come and perform the activities. At the end of the day, you will realize you have to perform. Even if you check for countries like United States of America, where the productivity rate is very high. Why is so high? It's because managers, the project managers, are serious. You have seen some big companies from China's, they're being located right here. And what we see in their project, what are they doing? They stay in the field. But you may find in Africa, in some other professionals, they don't want to go to the field and stay with other people to watch the activities. You as a manager, you must go down and observe your staff, observe the activities that are being performed in terms of daily. You see, you have to control that one. And when there is deviation, it is easier for you to control those deviation in terms of daily performance before it is too late for you to catch up. So that's why, as Flavian said, it is important you have to go for monitoring and evaluation. But in a brief, what we can say, why do we monitor project? We monitor, number one, we want to minimize the risk of the project failure. So the only way for you to fail is if you don't monitor a project. So minimize the risk of project failure. Okay? Assess the stakeholders' understanding of the project. You need to assess the stakeholders' understanding of the project. You see, how will you do that? Whether they understand or they don't understand is through monitoring. Promote systematic and professional management. You see, why? Because it is important. Many you need to inform the management whether they should adjust activities, for so that they can attain the planned activities, the planned targets. You see, so assess the progress. We want to assess the progress. That's why we monitor the project and so on. And among other things, these are what you may say, why do we monitor a project? Yes. Bangi, do you have any comments regarding why do we monitor? Why do we monitor project? Bangi. Judica, why do we monitor a project? Judica, people are not speaking. Yes, Judica. Oh, yes. Oh, Waziri, why do we monitor a project? Waziri, why do we monitor a project? Elisa, why do we monitor a project?
I think we should monitor the project so that to know check and balances between the activities and professionals who are involved in the projects.
Yes, that's very important. You need to check that one. Very good, very good. Stanley Awaki. Stanley Awaki. Stanley Awaki. You're not there. Stanley Awaki is not there. Magdalena. Magdalena.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why do we monitor? Yes. How are you? Why do we monitor? Why do we monitor a project?
Yes, we monitor project because we want to see the progress.
We want to see progress. Yes.
We want to see the progress, as well as we want to be sure that we are still on the track. If we are not monitor the project, there will be time we might divert from the original plan. So when we are monitoring, we are sure that we are still on the track.
And
yes.
As you said, Magdalena, is that if you are not capable of measuring maybe you are not capable of tracking, you cannot know, you cannot understand whether you are performing or you are not performing. Is it good or not good? And that's why the other time when we were talking about our policies, most our policies needs also to be evaluated. Needs to be monitored, because there are some policies, not all, actually all policies, if you cannot monitor, you cannot know whether these policies are good or are not good unless you monitor. So there are some, as I said the other time, that you have policy related projects. You have the non-profit, the civil society projects. You have construction related projects. You have and so on and so on. Okay. All these needs to be monitored, because if you don't monitor, you can't see whether is it performing good to people or it's not. So monitoring performance, monitoring report is the one that will give you that you are in the right track. So that's why with us, when we wanted to see the national policies, then we can use the secondary source information. And the only way is maybe you can understand, depending on what type of the problem is this one. You see, you can do monitoring. You can use a quantitative to analyze whether you are performing or you are not performing, or you can use qualitative approach to dig out whether you're in the right track or you are not in the right track. And that is also, we say, it's very important for us to keep track. Any other comments for why do we monitor? William? William? Yes, Eric William. Eric?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, please. Tell us, why do we monitor? Why is it important for us to monitor a project?
We do monitoring and evaluation to ensure effective and efficient implementation of the project.
Your speaker, please. Your speaker. Check your speaker. Yes. Say it again.
And evaluation to ensure effective and efficient implementation of the project.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I don't hear you properly. What are you saying? Anyway. Anyway. Yes, another person? Another volunteer? Another volunteer? No, another volunteer. Okay, so
Sir, I think also.
Yes. Oh, someone.
I think also it helps us in decision making. Through monitoring, we can assess the failures, the success, and the approach used in the project. It enables us to decide on the next phase or during that project implementation.
Very good, Esther. Very good, Esther. I appreciate it for that one. That's why we do monitoring. So what we could say, if you are not monitoring staff's activities for your organization, they will steal the money for your organization through not working. You know, it's common. You may come in the offices and you may find yourself playing around with the WhatsApp from morning to evening. You keep on playing with the WhatsApp, but you are doing nothing at work because nobody is monitoring you. You need to monitor your staff. You need to control your staff. You need to see how staff are connected with organization activities in order for you to attain the strategic plan. So the only way to uncover that one is through monitoring. I'm telling you, a manager in the United States, they have a close follow-up on laborers' activities. That they make sure that the labor employed in their project, they are directly related with the activities of the company. Even the time you spend in the company, you'll be very fruitful. And that's why productivity rate for countries like United States of America and Japan is very high in the world because people work. They work hard. And who is doing that? Who is making sure that people work hard is the manager through the use of monitoring and evaluation. So we can use the monitoring report to uncover those ones, having closer follow-up for your staff. You want to see the progress. Are you progressing? If to see whether you are progressing or you're not progressing, then monitoring will help you to make sure that you are in the right track or you are in a wrong track. Yes, Any other comments regarding why? Regarding why? Another comment? Another person? Yes, Gladness. Gladness Nahutwa. Gladness. Gladness. Yes. Okay. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Gladness. Saria. Saria. Okay. Now, what is monitored in the project? What is being monitored in the project? We have been talking much about this. What are you monitoring in the project? Yes. One, you monitor your inputs. You monitor your inputs. In terms of monitoring the inputs, you will have to monitor what is being invested in the project. You monitor your people, staff. You monitor your laborers. You monitor the activities, the materials, is it? You monitor the machines, how these machines are operating. You have to monitor. You see, you have to monitor. You make sure that all these inputs are connected to the output. You have to monitor on a daily basis how the machine is operating. For example, you might be working with a project related with the power plants projects somewhere. Now, if you're working with that one, you need to monitor because there might be some power fluctuation somewhere. If there's some power fluctuation happen within 30 minutes or 1 hour, then it's going to be a disaster to people. So you must be sensitive. The only way that will help you is through monitoring. You monitor regularly. You monitor to keep track of what is the contribution of your inputs towards the output. Anything that gets stuck, then you are in trouble at the end of the day. So you monitor all your inputs in terms of your machines, in terms of how these machines are operating, your laborers, you see how are they working, your staff, the permanent staff who are being employed in the projects, you have to monitor them. How are they spending their time towards producing the output, you see, and so on and so on. You have to monitor. You have to monitor how the money is going on within the project. You have to monitor your budget, you see, monitor your income. You have to monitor all the expenses, you see, related to the project. So it's high time for you to go through the budget and keep track of all the income and expenditure of the project. There might be some cash flow problems, so you will check it out. How is the position of your cash flow in the project? And how much are we expecting to generate for the coming period? And why we are not getting good cash flow? But you can only answer those questions if you are doing the monitoring and evaluation. You keep track of your inputs. You see, you'll have to monitor all the expenses, monitor the administrative expenses. You have to monitor all kinds of expenses that are related to the projects. That is important. You monitor the output, the deliverable. You see, what are the deliverable? If you say it's about constructing a school, you expect the deliverable is 5 classes. Now monitor your output. The output is 5 classes. Make sure that 5 classes are there. You see, you monitor the outcome. What happened during the project? What happened during the project? You see, this you need to monitor. When the project is going on, people need also to understand there are outcomes that are clipping on as a result of the projects. You have to monitor the impact. You see, given the period of time, you need to ask yourself, did we reach the intended goal or not? What is happening within the projects? What are the positive impacts? What are the negative impacts that we are getting? What are the consequences of this project being located in this area? You see, have we intended the goals, or the goal is not intended? Now, these kind of things, you can only track them when you are doing monitoring and evaluation and so on. Are we together, class? Are we together? Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Flavian, are we together?
Yes, I'm there,
So,
sir.
yes. So if you have a project,
Yeah, we are together.
maybe this project is very much related with your construction. What kind of things are you going to monitor, Flavia?
Hello?
Yes.
If we have a construction project,
Yes.
we have to monitor, in total, we have to monitor resources of the project. That means you have to see how much money is being injected to the project compared to the output, to the amount of work which is being executed.
Yes.
Again, you have to monitor the workers